Morning and welcome to the CNG Green Bus Showcase Extravaganza is what I'm calling it. We're so excited about this new fleet of buses, CNG buses, and it's fitting that we've gathered in the festival space because this is a celebration of innovation, environmental protection, and dedicated public service. In Lincoln, StarTran has been a leader in the use of alternative fuels for a number of years. In addition to exploring biodiesel and other renewable fuels for its fleet, StarTran began utilizing compressed natural gas in the late 1990s in their handy vans. And at that time, it was difficult for StarTran to expand its entire fleet to CNG due to the lack of CNG fueling facilities, both public and private, as well as reliable CNG bus fleet technology. But by 2012, we had a strong and growing interest in overcoming these real and perceived barriers to implementation. Much of our discussions revolved around the lack of upfront conversion dollars and a strategically located fueling facility that was ideal for operations. There were many who expressed interest in partnering with us to assist with our transition, including funding conversions, replacements, or bringing on more fueling facilities. And Black Hills Energy was one of those very important partners to the city. So Mayor and I at that time kept asking this question: what will it take to convert the city's bus fleet to CNG? Before I give you the answer, let me tell you this story. In 2013, I was fortunate to interview Mike Davis for the position of StarTran Transit Manager. He had extensive experience across the country in public transit, from transit planning in Utah, Colorado, Montana, and Arizona, to running transit operations in Olathe, Kansas, and Atomic City, USA. In his interview, Mike revealed his vision for higher utilization of CNG. He believed the city was well suited to make the transition, but that old assumptions regarding expensive conversions were holding StarTran back. Mike presented a different model, where we'd engage the Federal Transit Administration and leverage FTA-funded bus replacements over time, while also replacing existing buses with those that offer a quieter, more comfortable ride for our passengers. After we hired Mike, he made good on that promise and procured CNG replacement buses alongside the full implementation of assuming the university's bus system permanently. We marked that significant change with a new paint scheme and branding that we have all come to love, our Go Big Red bus fleet. In his first few months on the job, Mike met with various Black Hill Energy representatives from UNL, the mayor's office, city council members, Sapp Brothers, and transit staff to turn this vision into a reality. By 2015, we received our first contribution from Black Hills Energy, which funded 2 CNG buses, and that marked the beginning of this incredible journey. And by next year, in 2019, we will have 24 full-size CNG buses, 11 CNG handy vans, 2 CNG trolleys, and 4 electric buses. That number represents half of our fleet. Let's give a round of applause for that. So when I ask the question again, what will it take to convert the city's bus system to CNG? My answer is simple. It takes Mike Davis. So we are fortunate for his transformational leadership as well as the incredible effort of his dedicated StarTran staff. We want to thank you all so very much. One final note, when I read Mike's resume in 2013, it stated, "My objective is to improve the quality of life in the region that I work. Improvements would be timeless and serve as an example to other regions." Without a doubt, Mike continues to meet and exceed that objective, and I'm looking forward to his continued vision, which he will share in a little bit. But first, We are pleased to have representatives from the FTA, the Federal Transit Administration, with us today to mark the occasion. Kathy Monroe, Region 7 Planning Director, who will provide comments on behalf of FTA, and her colleague Daniel Huen, FTA Community Planner. Thank you for being with us today. Kathy, would you have a few remarks? Great.
Thank you, Mickey. Daniel and I are pleased to mark this occasion with you. On behalf of the Federal Transit and the Region 7 office for Nebraska, Iowa, Missouri, and Kansas, it's great to be a part of this event, celebrating transit reliability, efficiency, and clean air in Lincoln, Nebraska. I was fortunate to be present at the State Public Transit Partnership Conference hosted by FTA last week in Minnesota. The theme of the conference was about strengthening partnerships between local transit agencies, state departments of transportation, metropolitan planning organizations, and the federal government. These partnerships are focused on bringing state and federal support to local transit systems, providing funding for vehicles and facilities with the primary goal of providing a safe riding experience for passengers. Today we are pleased to be celebrating an excellent example of partnerships at work in StarTran and its vehicle replacement program. The partnerships that StarTran has been able to leverage to bring greater safety, reliability, and efficiency for its riders and grow is a credit to the agency's leadership. As a matter of fact, StarTran was recently recognized for its forward-thinking initiative and commitment to not only applying but for securing competitive funding on the national scale. Lincoln has truly been a gem in its public transportation system. These beautiful buses lined up behind me are a result of the multiple awards totaling $3.6 million from FTA Section 5339 bus and bus facilities and ladders grants. We don't always get to see the outcomes of those partnerships, so today is a day to really remember. 10 beautiful buses lined up, reach to serve Lincoln's residents. We are excited and honored to be among the first to ride, and the cleaner, quieter, and comfortable, not to mention extremely good-looking vehicles. Thanks to the Public Works and the Utilities Department and StarTran for hosting us today. Thank you.
All right, now I'd like to bring up our Mike Davis, our own transit manager, to give some remarks.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us today. I would like to start out by expressing appreciation to Mickey Esposito for her guidance and direction, and I would also like to thank the Federal Transit Administration for making the purchase of these vehicles possible. The buses you see here today provide a 20% reduction in tailpipe greenhouse gas emissions, which is great for the environment. They are quieter, and they lower overall operating costs and increase on-time performance through reduced breakdown occurrences. These new buses also feature more cameras, including a backup camera and a rear door camera to enhance safety and security. Upgraded driver and passenger seating, adjustable driver pedals, turning lights, and a touchscreen dash instrument panel. Several of these buses began service yesterday, and we are excited to roll out all of the new buses in the next couple of weeks. These buses will be replacing buses purchased in 2001. The rollout of these buses is yet another step in our work to meet the evolving transportation needs of our riders and build the quality of service in our transit system. These enhancements are only possible through the efforts of many individuals and partnerships, including but not limited to the Federal Transit Administration, and we appreciate Kathy Monroe and Daniel Huen being here today, Mayor Beitler, Lincoln City Council, the StarTran Advisory Board, which we have representatives here today as well, Mike Brienzo from the MPO, Beatty Brash from the Center for People in Need, Barb Byer, City of Lincoln Grants Administrator, Mickey Esposito, and our StarTran staff. Thank you all for joining us for this inauguration of these new buses. And we have time for a few questions before we board a bus. Absolutely. Right now we are aiming towards 100% of alternative fueled or alternative propulsion buses, so either CNG or electric going forward. We think this is the best benefit for us, for the environment, and in keeping operational costs low.
As far as keeping operational costs low, what does that mean for the consumer?
By us being able to keep operational costs low, we hope to again keep our service robust to the customers, keep high frequency routes out there to really have convenient service. And so hopefully those savings will continue to transpire to having better service.
And keeping fares competitive.
Absolutely, and keeping rates low and competitive as well.
You mentioned a 20% reduction in greenhouse gases. Comparatively speaking, what's that look like to the old fleet?
So the compressed natural gas buses have that greenhouse gas improvement of 20% less tailpipe emissions, and we have experimented and looked into different technologies over time, but when you balance costs and the benefits that we have of CNG buses, they're the best thing that we can do right now, and it definitely improves our air quality and makes things better for the city of Lincoln.
As far as going to electric vehicles, what's your hope with continuing that?
We're seeing a big movement in electric vehicles right now, and I think being in the forefront of testing that technology and seeing its applicability, we're excited to be moving in that direction and having those vehicles approximately mid-year next year. Right now, the buses will continue to fill up at Sapp Brothers, and as we move forward, we're planning a compressed natural gas fueling station out on O Street, and so that project continues to move forward as well.
What's been the reaction from the riders towards the new fleet?
So these buses are very similar to the red buses that we rolled out on UNL service, and we have continually had positive comments come forward from customers about how they like these buses. And so we assume we're going to receive that same reaction with these vehicles. Again, with a few minor upgrades that I talked about, newer seats and a few other upgrades, I think these buses will be very well received. All right, with that, we'll go ahead and move forward with our bus tour. So thank you all for being here, and we'll look forward to taking a ride.